Welcome along to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. This is where we really get stuck into the big strategic plays happening in the game. And today, well, we're diving deep into something pretty fascinating, maybe even a bit audacious, happening with the Springboks right now. We're looking closely at a great piece from Rugby 365. It's titled, Why Rassie's Rookie Roulette is a Necessary Gamble. Our mission, really, is to unpack why this approach, which looks like a big risk on the surface, might actually be a very calculated move, thinking about the future of South African rugby. And hey, before we get into all that, make sure you hit subscribe on Rugby Obsession so you don't miss out on any of these insights. Okay, so the core of it today. Rassie Erasmus, the Bebos head coach, he's using what some are calling this rookie roulette with his squad selection. But importantly, the article frames it as a necessary gamble. That phrase itself, necessary, suggests there's a deeper plan here, doesn't it?
It really does. And what's crucial to grasp is that this isn't just about, the next few games. This whole strategy, this rookie roulette, it's fundamentally about the long game. It's about developing the squad with a very clear eye on the 2027 World Cup. It's about building something sustainable, not just reacting week to week.
Okay, let's dig into that then, because, everyone's talking about the Lions tour down under France and New Zealand, but meanwhile, South Africa have these 4 matches lined up. Barbarians, 2 against Italy, 1 against Georgia. It seems quite intriguing. So what's the deal with this massive 45-player squad he's picked for these games? It feels like more than just your standard mid-year series.
You're absolutely right. It's definitely not standard procedure. Rassie's been quite open about it. He's basically promised to use this block of games for some serious experimentation, thinking about a rugby championship coming up, but really the big goal is 2027. And central to that is what he calls the 15 cap goal.
The 15 cap goal. Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, the idea is he wants his key players, the guys he sees forming the core for 2027, to have at least 15 test caps under their belt by then. It's not just a random number. It's a threshold he believes signifies enough experience, enough exposure to high-pressure test rugby. Building that mental toughness, tactical nous, the physical resilience you absolutely need at that level. It's about creating genuine battle-tested depth.
Right, not just names on a list, but players who've actually been there and done it.
Exactly. And if you look back, this isn't like a totally new thing for Rassie. Player development, it's been a cornerstone since he started in 2018. Remember back then? He brought in 19 new players, 19 debutants in 1 year.
19, wow.
Yeah. Then another 4 in 2019, leading up to that World Cup win, and he kept going. 6 new caps in 2021, 10 in 2022, just 2 in 23 as they focused on the World Cup itself. Now, starting this new cycle, he used 50 players across the 2024 season, gave 12 guys their first test cap. 12.
So there's a definite pattern here. Experiment early in the cycle.
Precisely. It's when you lay the groundwork. Build that wider base, get players into the system. He clearly believes in the talent available and trusts his structures to bring them through.
That makes sense. It sets the stage. So let's talk about the who and the how a bit more. How did he actually use these rookies in 2024, and who are the brand new guys in this current squad? It sounds very deliberate.
Oh, it was very deliberate. You saw, for instance, Jordan Hendricks and Edwin van der Merwe starting against Wales at Twickenham. And that was interesting because, remember, that game clashed with the URC final. So some regulars weren't available. Created opportunities.
Ah, right. Club commitments, opening doors.
Exactly. Then you had Sacha Feinberg, Munga Mazulu, and Ben Jason Dixon debuting off the bench in that same game. Later on, against Portugal, guys like Fefsi Buthelezi, Johan Grobbelaar, Jan-Hendrik Wessels got starts, and then Andre Hugeventer, Ruan Venter, Mornay Vandenberg got their first taste from the bench too. By the end of that run, 11 of the 12 debutants from 2024 had got their cap. Cameron Hanekom debuted later against Wales, but unfortunately picked up an injury. Otherwise, he'd be right in the mix now too.
Okay, so a real spread of opportunities.
Definitely. Now, looking at these mid-year tests, this is really seen as the proper starting point for experimentation in this new cycle. There are 7 totally uncapped players in this 45-man group.
7 new faces. Okay, who are they?
You've got Ethan Hooker, Cobus Wise, Vincent Chituka, then 4 front rowers, Neithling Fouché, Asinathi Nutlabakanye, Marnus van der Merwe, and Bowen Venter. Now, the interesting thing is, finding game time for those 4 front rankers, that might actually be, slightly easier right now.
Oh, boy, why is that?
Injuries, mainly. The Boks have quite a few props unavailable. Franz Milherb, Stephen Kitchhoff's retired from tests now, Trevor Nyakane, Gerhard Steenkamp. They're all out.
Right, quite a list, so there are gaps to fill.
Exactly. But for the other 3, Hooker, Wise, Chituka, fitting them in while keeping the team balanced right across these 4 games. That'll take a bit more juggling,
Yeah.
Their positions have more established depth currently available.
I see. It highlights how injuries can sometimes unexpectedly accelerate the development plan, especially in specialist positions like the front row. So thinking about that juggling act, what does all this mean for the players already kind of in the system? The guys on the fringes or maybe the established stars coming back from layoffs? It sounds like a complex balancing act.
It really is, and that's a super important point. You've got guys who are getting close to that 15-cap goal Rassie talks about.
Yeah.
Like Satya Feinberg, Mungo Mazulu, he's on 8 caps now. Ed Wolf van der Merwe, we just got his first. Jan Hendrik Wessels has 3. They all debuted last season, so they'll be hungry for more game time.
They need to build on that momentum.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then think about World Cup winners like Kanan Moody. He's got 12 caps. Jean Klein has 7. Great players, but maybe haven't had that consistent run since France 2023. This is their chance. And guys like Evan Roos on 7 caps, Ruan Nortjer on 6, Salman Morat on 10. They've sort of been in and out since 2022. This period is massive for them to stake a claim.
And Jean-Luc Dupree's, he's been around a while.
Yeah, 14 caps.
Yeah.
Been in the system since 2016. He's right on the cusp of that 15-cap mark. This could be his time to really nail down a spot.
It's interesting seeing those journeys. And what about the props who've waited patiently?
Yes. Wilco Liu with 16 caps, Thomas Dutoy with 23. They've had to buy their time behind some absolute legends in the front row. Now, with those injuries we mentioned, suddenly there's a real window for them, a chance to step up and show they can be the main men, shows the value of sticking with it.
Rewards patience, doesn't it?
It does. But on the flip side, Rassie also has to manage the return of his big guns, players coming back from injury who need to get up to speed. Take Peter-Steph Dutoy, missed the whole Japanese season with that shoulder injury. He needs minutes, serious minutes.
Yeah, crucial player.
Then Jasper Weiss, just back from injury. Even Etzebeth hasn't played much for the Sharks recently, needs a gallop. And Lou Diaker, his comeback is huge, especially for the lineout. Hasn't played since the 2023 season.
His presence is massive there.
And Damien Willems, he's missed out since 2023 too, and won't even feature until the Italy games because of that URC ban. Getting him back integrated is key.
So lots of individual needs to manage within the team goal.
Precisely. And then there's the Faf de Klerk recall. That definitely got people talking, especially with Jaden Hendricks left out. Faf's 33 now, hasn't played for the Boks since, July 2024 against Ireland?
Right. So the question is...
Yeah, the question is whether he still has that edge for the really tough tests later this year. New Zealand, France, Ireland. It puts the pressure on him to perform, Maybe Rassie wants his experience around, maybe a different style. We'll see.
So for this first game against the Barbarians, what kind of mix are we expecting?
I think you'll see exactly that balance we've been talking about. Some rookies getting a taste, some fringe guys getting a real shot, and some senior players getting crucial game time. And expect that experimentation to continue across all 4 matches. They'll be looking closely at combinations.
Fascinating stuff. And just a reminder, if you want to keep up with these kinds of in-depth analyses, make sure you're subscribed to Rugby Obsession. Okay, so let's bring it back to you, the listener. Why does all this complex mixing and matching, this blend of youth and experience, actually matter in these specific games? What are the real stakes here?
Well, look, results always matter in Test rugby, let's be clear. Every single match impacts the World Rugby rankings, and those rankings eventually determine the seedings for the 2027 World Cup draw. A better ranking generally means a better pool draw.
Okay, so results aren't irrelevant.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And this is the crucial part. In this particular 4-week window, against these opponents where, let's be honest, the Springboks are heavily favored to win comfortably. Squad development is clearly the #1 priority. It overrides everything else for now.
Right, it's a calculated window of opportunity.
Exactly. It's the perfect time to blood new players, test combinations, expose guys to the system, see how they handle the pressure without the absolute knife-edge stakes of, say, Rugby Championship decider. The rankings are important long-term, but building that battle-hardened depth for 2027, that's the focus right now. Making sure they have options, real options, come the big dance.
It really is a long-term play, isn't it? So thinking about all this, what stands out to you listening? Do you buy into this necessary gamble? Are you excited by it or maybe a bit nervous? Let us know what you think. Drop us a comment. We genuinely love to hear your perspective on Rassie's approach. All right, so let's wrap up our Rugby Obsession deep dive for today. What we've seen is that Rassie Erasmus's strategy, this rookie roulette, it's anything but random. There's a very clear long-term vision here. It's all about building formidable depth and experience for the Springboks, balancing that future goal with the demands of the present.
That's spot on. It's not just throwing darts at a board. This is a controlled, deliberate experiment. It's engineered to make the Springboks stronger, more adaptable, and ultimately ready to defend their title in 2027. It's about setting up for sustained success.
So here's a thought to leave you with. As we watch this unfold over the next few years, what will be the true measure of success for this strategy? Beyond just the win-loss columns, how will we know if this necessary gamble really paid off when we look towards that next World Cup? Something to ponder. Thank you so much for joining us on the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Make sure you continue the deep dive by subscribing to Rugby Obsession. We'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.